Good afternoon, family. It's an honor to be back in Detroit again.
It's an honor to have you.
I know it's been a while. Last visit was in February. It was. And then the last time we was here at the Truth Bookstore was Kwanzaa. So it's been quite a while. A couple things have happened. Some things have transpired. And what I want to do tonight, family, is 6 o'clock. So what I want to do is from 6 until 7, I want to present. Okay, give you the updates, let you know what's going on, let you know what I'm doing, so you can stay up on the same page with me. And that's what we'll do for an hour. And then the second hour will be Q&A. Okay, and that'll take us from 7 until 8. Y'all know the mall closes at 9. So when we're done at 8 o'clock, that'll give you guys an opportunity, if you're interested, to purchase a book, a t-shirt, or a DVD, or just holler at me. Tell me how much you like me or don't like me, whatever you choose, okay? So that's what we want to do. 6 to 7 is my time, 7 to 8 is your time, and then 8 to 9, that'll give you an opportunity to support me as well as the Truth Bookstore. Make sure y'all continue to come to the Truth Bookstore, not just when Dr. Umar comes or any of the other scholars, but our black bookstores are under attack all over the country. They're closing down. We're losing them literally every day. I got an email from a good sister, I don't want to name, but she's about to close her bookstore, which is also a very popular national bookstore. She asked me if I would be interested in taking it over. So we got to support the black bookstores. Barnes & Nobles is trying to monopolize information. And the only way we're going to stop that is by making sure the Truth Bookstore stays open, as well as all the other bookstores in the country. I'm going to move back and forth because I know we got the pillar there, and I want everybody to be able to see me and to hear me. First things first. In April, I got a phone call from a friend of mine in Virginia. Let me go back. At the end of last year, we had a meeting of the minds in Norfolk, Virginia. Most of you met me at the first meeting of the minds that we had here in Detroit about 2 years ago. It's been a while now. But at the meeting of the minds in Norfolk, I brought up my vision to open up a residential academy for black boys. So in Virginia, we brainstormed different schools that were up for sale or available that would make a good location for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy. One of those schools was the St. Paul's College, which is a historically black college in Lawrenceville, Virginia, that was opened in 1888 by James Solomon Russell, who was a good friend of Booker T. Washington, and he was formerly enslaved himself. So he opened up St. Paul's in 1888 with only about a dozen students, and it grew and it grew and it grew. But as you know, over the past couple years, historically black colleges have been taking significant hits. They're not getting the type of support they used to get from us. The white colleges have stepped up their recruitment and scholarship offerings of African American children. And because the white schools are being more aggressive in their recruitment of black children, the HBCUs are falling off. In addition to the fact that the white schools are stepping up their aggressive recruitment of black high school graduates, we also have the problem of rich blacks, the celebrities, the bourgeoisie, not supporting historically black colleges. As a result of that, we've seen about a dozen of them close, and about 2 dozen of them are scheduled to close. Morris Brown in Atlanta. Most of us know that one because it was popularized with the hit film Drumline. Well, there is no more Drumline because there is no more Morris Brown. It was sold last month to the city of Atlanta. You know what that means. People who don't look like you are going to change that into a gated community. Okay? Now, Wilberforce in Ohio is in trouble. Central State in Ohio is in trouble. I heard that Southern might be in trouble. Cheney in trouble. Lincoln, some challenges. There's about 2 dozen HBCUs that are scheduled to be closed. St. Paul's came up in our Virginia discussion because St. Paul's closed down June of 2013. They graduated their last class in June of 2013. So at that time, and we definitely don't want to have any sisters standing. If a sister wants a seat, brothers, make sure we accommodate her. I think we're talking about people who is biologically born women now, biological women. You gotta say that these days, you gotta say that. okay? I did a for sisters only seminar. I forget what city it was. No, this is real. I did a for sisters only seminar, and the sexually confused community attacked the host because the sexually confused brothers wasn't allowed to come to Dr. Umar's for sisters only seminar. I was at Wendy Williams' 50th birthday party in New York last night. And I'm standing there. No, I don't party, and I definitely don't do her. But I was invited because a lot of celebrities came through. And some people thought that if I was there, I might get an opportunity to mingle. I was able to mingle, but I wasn't able to jingle. You feel me? So we didn't get no donations. But that's okay because I met some people who know some people, so we're going to keep on pulling them strings. But anyway, I'm standing in the party last night. This is Wendy Williams. Y'all know her. Historic troublemaker. Anyway. And I'm thinking it's a man in front of me. You know, he had his girl by the waist, you know, slow. The whole time, I'm thinking it's him and his girl. And then all of a sudden, his girl turned around and it was his guy. I couldn't believe it. I'd never seen something so blatant like that before. But that's another conversation.
Oh, God.
That's one of the reasons why we need the Fred Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
That's right.
So anyway, we came up with St. Paul's College as a potential site for the FDMG. We started calling the college, the president, the board of directors, trying to get in contact with someone because we heard the college was shut down. We were hoping that we could set up a direct purchase to seller agreement with the HBCU. Cut out the bank, cut out the interest. Let's deal directly with you in buying this college. Nobody called us back. 1 week in April, I'm home typing a psychological evaluation report, because y'all know that's what I do as a school psychologist. I get a text from my buddy in Virginia, Dr. Umar. St. Paul's is going to auction Wednesday. I said, what? We've been trying to reach them. They said, yeah, but they're going to auction. It's all over the newspaper. They're about to sell it to the highest bidder. I said, why nobody never called us back? He said, I don't know. So with no money, not that type of money, I jumped on the internet, jumped on the telephone. I called the white realty company that the black college put in charge of the auction. I said, look, I'm Dr. Umar Johnson, and I need this school for our boys. I don't know what it's going to take to get it, but we can't afford this piece of real estate to be sold. Not just for me, not just for our boys, but let's keep in mind our ancestors who fought and died for us to have this college in the first place. So the white folks said, look, we understand your passion. We know all about you. We've been on YouTube. And we respect what you're trying to do. But money talks and everything else walks. So I called the president of the college, who has been very supportive. Let me take the very out. He's been supportive, okay? And I told him about what I was trying to do. He said, look, brother, we got to sell the school because we got debts like everybody else, and we don't want it to go belly up, the bank claim it, or what have you. We don't want the school to go into debt, foreclosure. So I said, what do you think I should bid? Because I said, I'm going to go ahead and put a bid in. He said, well, we owe about $2 million in debt. So if you're going to do a bid, you might want to start around 3, because we want to wipe out the debt, so whoever takes the college after us, start off with a fresh slate. So I said, okay, let me put in a $3 million bid. They got the bid. They said, we received your bid, but you got to put 4% down, which was about $150,000, and they gave me 24 hours to get it. Now, the only way I know to get $150,000 in 24 hours, I got to go talk to the dope boys on the corner. And y'all know Dr. Umar can't get involved in that. FBI waiting for that. So I said, I ain't got that money. They said, well, we're sorry, the auction is tomorrow. This is the April auction, because y'all know they just had another one last week. So anyway, they called me back 2 days later. I was happy to see the realtor's number on my caller ID. I said, yes, this is Dr. Umar Johnson. They said, the property didn't sell. I said, okay. They said, have your lawyer, get in touch with our lawyer, and send us a purchase proposal, and let's see what we can do to help you get to school. So I got with my lawyer in New York, he got with them, we put the proposal together, boom, boom, boom. They said, why don't you come down here and tour the campus? Which is what I wanted to do anyway. So I took the 6-hour ride from Philadelphia to Lawrenceville, Virginia. And just so you know where Lawrenceville is, family, it's 90 miles from Richmond, 90 miles from the North Carolina border. So you ain't talking Northern Virginia, you're talking Southern Virginia. You're literally a deep breath away from North Carolina. It's the south of Virginia. So I took that 6-hour ride, toured the campus. Those of you who have been on the website, drumarjohnsonschool.com, that video that we did that literally on the home the day after I toured. In other words, I went down there, I met with the president of the college, the brother, met with the white folk, we went through all the buildings, I took notes. The building is in good shape, brothers and sisters. But what I like most about St. Paul's, what do I like most? Why this school? Why not anywhere else? I'm gonna tell you why. And then we're gonna talk about how Detroit figures in all of this. St. Paul's is 137 acres. It's small for a college, but big enough for what we need to do. The school is in pretty good working condition. The dormitories are there. They got a brand new state-of-the-art student center. On the video, I'm standing in with the student center to my background. That was just built within the past 10 years by alumni. They got a brand new bowling alley in the inside. It's nice. They have the gymnasium, the cafeteria, 137 acres. They got acres that still haven't been developed yet. I like St. Paul's because it's small enough for us to manage it, but large enough for us to do what we got to do. Are y'all following me?
Yes, sir.
Now, what I also like about St. Paul's is it's in the middle of nowhere. Lawrenceville is rural. Nothing out there but us and the goats. And that's the way I want it, because with the educational system I'm trying to put forth, we have to detoxify the minds of our children. Before we can put anything else in here, we got to take out what was in. Are y'all following me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I like the setting. Nobody gets to their mind but us. And Lawrenceville is surrounded by an African-American community, which is one of the reasons why I think they haven't sold it yet. Because I think a lot of white folk and universities and potential investors, they have an issue. Number one, it's in the middle of nowhere, which ain't good for business. And number two, is black folks all around, which is good for us though. Because if we ever had to go to war, we got our homies right there, you feel me? So, that's why I chose it. Not to mention the historical significance of it. The operating expenses are about $40,000 to $60,000 a month, which is a lot for us, but it's cheap when you talk about college expenses. And we can go even lower than that. Why? Because as the president was telling me, Dr. Umar, you ain't got to open all the buildings at once. You might just operate one dorm, one lecture hall, y'all follow me? And the cafeteria, and keep your operating expenses down even lower. He said that $60,000 a month is based on a full campus of college-age people living here, not grade school children. So St. Paul's would be ideal, brothers and sisters, for what it is we're trying to do. Now, originally, it was 500 acres. 500 during the April bid. But between the April bid and the bid that they had a week before last, between them two bids, they sold 300 acres of the farmland without me even knowing it. And I wanted to use that so we can manufacture a Black Wall Street situation. Because the way I saw it, all the parents of the children would build houses there. All the teachers would build houses there. And if you got all of y'all, let's say y'all the staff and parents of the school, y'all all living on this 500 acres that we developed, we're going to need a gas station that's a business for somebody. We're going to need a supermarket that's a business for somebody. We're going to need a daycare. We're going to need a cleaners. Sooner or later, we're going to need a fire department, and we're going to need a police department, which means at some point we would have to do what? Incorporate into our own city. Are y'all following me?
Yes, sir.
So when we was talking Fred Douglass, Marcus Garvey, I'm not just talking about educating the children, although I think that would be enough. I'm looking long term about how we can use the school as the front for a 21st century Black Wall Street operation.
All right.
Amen.
Now, I see a sister standing in the back, Sister Patrice. Can we get a seat for her, brothers?
Right here.
All right, we don't want none of the queens standing if they don't have to. Now, let me back up. When I went on the tour, the realty company said we basically going to give you till about July or August to raise this $2.5 million. And those of y'all who follow my work, y'all know that on the 20th of April, I began an international fundraiser to try to raise that $2.5 million. A couple weeks ago, the realty company said, Dr. Umar, we're going back to auction. We're going back to auction. But at that time, the fundraiser had operated for what? 30 days. And in 30 days, and I'm happy to say this, you all, most of you all, help me raise $100,000. That's what we raised in only 30 days. Excuse me, $150,000 in 30 days. And in 40 days, $160,000. So the support has been there. Many of you have given. Please continue to give. It ain't over until it's over. We're not stopping until St. Paul's is sold or until something reveals itself in the buying process that me and my attorney and my realtor don't like. And I'm going to come back to that in a second. So if you haven't been to drumarjohnsonschool.com, you need to go there tonight. drumarjohnsonschool.com. Make a donation. Some of you brought checks and money orders tonight. I appreciate that. If you plan on making a donation tonight, make the check or money order out to FDMG Academy. I repeat, FDMG Academy. Make sure your name and mailing address are on your donation. Why? Because once the school is open, we want to make sure that you get credit for what you gave. Thanks, Bob. And anyone who has donated at least $1,000 as an individual, you will be honored as a financial founding mother or father of the Fred Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Might need to. So, make sure you donate. Very important that we do. For those of you who are interested in working at the college, at our school, send me your resumes to fdmgresumes@gmail.com. I repeat, fdmgresumes@gmail.com. Yes, we need math teachers, and yes, we need science teachers, and yes, we need social studies, and yes, we need language arts. But we also need a lot of things, a lot of people that don't require a certification. And by the way, this will not be a charter school or a public school. It will be an independent school, which means the certification is different. I'm investigating Virginia's private school code right now. But in most states, in order to be a private school teacher, you need to have a bachelor's degree, which can be in any field, and you need 18 credits specific to the content area you'll be teaching at the school. So let's say the brothers say, I want to be your history teacher, but my degree is in communications. Well, how many history credits do you have on your transcript? Well, I only got 6 history credits. Okay. Well, then what you want to do is you want to get into Detroit Community College, and you're going to get you 12 other credits, which is, thanks Bob, which is 4 more classes. So you get your 18 credits. Once he has his 18 credits, even though his degree is in communications, he can be certified as a private school teacher, which does not require a test. Are y'all following me? So being a private school certified teacher is totally different from being a public school certified teacher. I want to make sure y'all understand that, okay? So some of y'all like, I want to teach, but I ain't got, don't worry about that. You will need a bachelor's in something. Get it online. You will need a bachelor's in something, but for the content area that you will teach at the school, you only need 18 credits in it. Now some of y'all saying, well, what if I ain't got a bachelor's and I want to be a part of the school and I don't feel like going back or I can't go back? Well, most of the jobs, most of the career opportunities at the Fred Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy won't require a degree at all. What am I talking about? We're going to have an agricultural science curriculum. We need people who know how to farm. You don't need a degree for that. We're going to have a raw food curriculum where we teach the children how to prepare raw food without no oven, no microwave, no stove. Some of y'all know how to cook it. Send me your resume. You don't need a degree for that. We're going to have a natural hair care academy for the girls. Teach them how to do their hair naturally without no process. You don't need a degree for that. We also going to need security guards for the campus. It's going to be residential. Our children got to be secured. People sending their children to us to get an education, not to get a lynching. So we got to protect those babies. We need secretaries. Some of y'all can type 70, 80, 90 words a minute. Okay? If you good at the secretarial piece, send me your resume. We need social workers. We need nurses. We need building engineers, janitors, painters, bus drivers, non-teaching
classroom assistance, which doesn't require a degree at all. You're in the classroom to support the teacher. My point is, if you're serious about what we're trying to do towards educating the next generation of African children, send me your resume to fdmgresumes@gmail.com. I just asked 2 requirements if you're sending me your resume. Number 1, this school is going to be America's first residential school, specifically designed for African boys, based on the principles of revolutionary Pan-African nationalism and African culture. Because that is our premise. If you are sexually confused, don't send me no damn resume, because it ain't that type of party. You got a right to do what you want to do where you live, but you ain't bringing it to my school. And the second requirement is you cannot be married to an alien. If your wife don't look like your mother, keep your resume. And if your husband don't look like your father, keep your resume. I'm serious about them 2 things. This is going to be a nappy by nature academy. It's going to be an unapologetically African school. For those of you who might belong to an ideology or religion other than what I practice, that's fine. But you better be able to keep that to yourself, because we're not giving them Bible and Quran. That's fine. You can do that at home. But at this school, we give them something they ain't got yet, and that's knowledge yourself. Okay? So you can come from any camp. Some of my Moorish brothers, they're going to be working there. Some of my Nawapian brothers going to be there. My guys on earth, my Hebrews. I just got to make sure y'all don't curse nobody out. Okay? They're going to be working there. You know? But you just got to be focused on what the school's mission is, not yours. Because any opportunism will be dismissed. Our flag is red, black, and green. Nothing else. Okay? Also, we're going to be having a curriculum conference, which I'm probably going to do in Detroit in the spring. So we can go ahead and hammer out the curriculum. So for all y'all who do natural hair care, we're going to put y'all together, give us that K-12 curriculum. All of y'all who do the agricultural science, we're going to put y'all together, give us that K-12 agricultural science curriculum. We're going to have a clothing manufacturing program where we teach our young children how to make their own clothing. Our late great master teacher, ancestor Dr. John Ray Henry Clark said what? A people who aren't worthy, a people who aren't able of making their own underwear aren't worthy of running a nation. So guess what's the first thing your child want to make at our school? They own damn drawers. Ah, shit. They might be holy, one side might be shorter than the other. He might ain't got no zip slit, but guess what? He's going to have on his own drawers. And your daughter will have on her own drawers. And they'll say, that school there, all the kids wear their own drawers. And then we're going to teach them how to make shoes. We're going to teach them how to make clothing. We're going to turn one of the buildings into a hotel, because a lot of our young people are interested in the hotel tourism and restaurant management careers. And you know, black people spend more money on vacations and hoteling than anybody else. So we want to teach our children the art of making that money. Some of y'all trade on the stock market. Send me your resume. We're going to have a financial and economic science curriculum, second to none. 9th grade, they will be able to do their own taxes. 10th grade, they will have mastered the real estate market of Michigan. 11th grade, they own business plan. 12th grade, they done mastered the stock markets, multi-trading, international commerce. Why? My school is being based on the premise that you cannot expect a child. You cannot expect a child to go to college and get what they need in college. We got to give it to them in school. The only thing our children are getting in college is what? Debt to the banks. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Because many of you are in debt to the banks. You went to college, you got a bachelor's degree, came home, they said you wasn't qualified enough. You went back, got your first master's, came back, you wasn't qualified enough. Went back, got your second master's, couldn't find a job. You said, maybe I can't find a job because I ain't got enough degrees. So you went back and got a doctorate, came back, and now you overqualified. My God. What in the hell is overqualified? If I want to sell McDonald's burgers to keep the lights on, who are you to tell me I can't because I got 3 master's degrees? So you see what's going on. The banks, listen to me, parents of my high school students, the banks are in bed with the colleges to put all black people into debt in the name of higher education. They got you thinking sending your child to college equals a job.
How can that be when 2 million college-educated black folks are unemployed and in the homeless shelters right now? You can't wait on the University of Michigan to do it. Because even if your child graduates summa cum laude, they got to wait on somebody to give them a job. So when your children graduate from my school, they won't need college. Now, if they want it, we're going to help them. Because we do need doctors and lawyers and teachers and engineers and psychologists, and all these professions require degrees and certification. So we will have college prep for all the children. In fact, the education we give them is going to be so good, we might as well call it grad school prep. But if they choose not to go to college, they won't have to. Why not? Because I build computers. Why not? I do real estate. Why not? I do financial planning. Why not? What I need to go to college for. I'm 18 years old and I've already made my first million off the stock exchange. While everybody else's kids are in college learning Macbeth, hoping they can get a job in 4 years. By the time your child graduates, owing $60,000 in debt, can't get a job, the boys and girls at FDMG with just a high school diploma, working on their first $500,000 right out of high school. That's what we're talking about. Military science, where we teach our boys and girls how to live off the land. That's what we're talking about. So brothers and sisters, you gotta keep giving, you gotta keep making your donations. We had 160, but we got to go to 2.5 million. Now, how does Detroit factor into all this? Let's say, well, let me back up. Let me tell you where we at right now with St. Paul's. My attorney is trying to convince the realty company for St. Paul's College to provide us with a back title on the property. Y'all know the school goes back to 1888. So that might take some digging to get that original title. But my attorney needs the original title so he can get a title search done to see what type of liens, what type of taxes, what type of holds were put on that campus due to things not being up to par. Are you following me? Maybe they were cited for structural problems with the cafeteria. Maybe they were cited for the lead paint in the infirmary. We don't know, but we need to know, because even if we raise $2.5 million and celebrate tomorrow, we got us a black college, 137 acres, and then 2 weeks later, the county comes in with a list of problems this damn thick, and they say, well, before you can bring any children on this campus, you gotta address over 1,000 citations that nobody told you about when you put up your $2.5 million. So my lawyer wants to make sure that in my zealousness to buy this college, I'm not being taken advantage of. So we want to get the title, but they don't have to give it to us. My lawyer emailed the realty company yesterday. We haven't heard back from them, but that's okay, it's the weekend. They're going to respond. Because to be honest with y'all, I think I'm the only serious person interested in that college. If there was others, it would have been bought by now. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know why the school just don't say, look, if you promise to use this for the children, take it. I don't even know why the hell they got me dealing with white folks with a black school. Y'all feel me? Yeah. But I don't want to snap off on him yet. Not yet. Not yet. Maybe when this is all done. What the hell you got me dealing with this guy? So, let's say we do the title search and things check out. The next thing we want to do before I give them the $150,000 down payment that y'all gave me. Remember now, we had about $160,000 in the fundraiser. So we have the down payment money. But here's the decision Dr. Umar has to make. And I'm going to ask y'all to make it with me. When I give y'all my phone number on your free time, I want you to text me your opinion. What is the opinion? If I give them your $150,000 that we raised over the past 45 days, they're going to demand that I come up with the balance of the $2.5 million within a couple of months. Here's my question to y'all. If we do a 60-day indigo GoFundMe for 60 days. Crowdfunding. Are black people going to give us that $2.5 million in 90 days? Yeah. Or did I just waste your $150,000 by putting faith in the people who ain't got faith in us? Wow. Why is this decision important? I'm going to tell you. If the title reveals any serious issues with the campus, or if the commercial inspection reveals any serious problems with the buildings, we move to Plan B. Plan B is Chicago or Detroit. That means we take the $160,000 that's sitting in the bank, and Queen Mother Nefertari of the Truth Bookstore had already put me in contact with a reliable realtor. Okay? So when I come back from Africa, I'm coming back to Detroit. I'm going to take a couple days so I can go visit some of these schools and see what the condition is in. So you're going to give me your opinion on two things by text message. Number one, Dr. Umar, we should go for the $2.5 million. What do we got to lose? I know the people gave you $150,000, but we spend more on that on hair and chicken wings on the day. Damn with that money. Go for the gusto. Win or lose, at least we try. Some of y'all going to say, damn that. I think you need to play it shrewdly. Because if you put that $150 up and we don't get the rest of that money, you know what they're going to do with you on Facebook? They're going to say you're wasting the people's money. Keep that $160, bring it to Detroit. They selling schools for $5 grand. You might pack 5 of them. So you're going to give me a decision. You're going to give me your opinion on whether y'all think we should go for the 2.5. If everything checks out. If everything don't check out, Plan B kicks in Detroit, becomes Plan B anyway. But let's say everything does check out and everything's cool, and they say we need the rest of this $2.5 million within 90 days. I need your opinion. Do we go for it or do we pull back? That's number one. And the second thing I need y'all help on, I have a realtor, right? But I need y'all to tell me what schools, if you had the $160,000, what would be 1 or 2 schools? Only 1 or 2. I don't want 50. 1 or 2 schools that you personally would go after and why. Dr. Umar, there's a school named such and such. They got land around it. It just closed down. Brand new infrastructure. I heard one of your high schools just shut down. Was it Finney, was it? What's the high school in Detroit just closed? They're going to shut it down. They're not opening it back up. It's a high school. You said they all going, damn.
Yeah, all of them.
Damn. So where the high school kids go? Everybody homeschooled. Damn. He's 6'5", being homeschooled at his little sister's desk. Damn.
Kettering has a big piece of land around it.
Okay, well, this is what I want y'all to do.
East side.
Text it to me. If you know of a school, Dr. Umar, check this one out. I need to know y'all because I don't know Detroit like y'all. And I don't want to buy one school only to find out it was something better on the other side of town, but because y'all didn't help me out, we got jammed up. Y'all follow me? Yes, now, I'm sure the realtor going to do a good job, but she might not know all the schools. You might got one right on your block like, yo, this is the diamond in the rough right here, Doc. Now, I don't want the school to be too small. It needs to be able to fit at least 500 students. If it ain't a 500 student school, I ain't even wasting my time. It need to be at least 500. I want one of them big boys. I want one of them high schools that can handle 3,000. That's what I really want. Queen Mother 90 of 90 Cafe told me the other night that somebody bought a college in Detroit for $7,000. Highland Park. She said they bought a whole college for $7 grand. If that's the case, we can forget about St. Paul's and just do Detroit. They're giving out colleges for $7 grand. You understand?
Yes, sir.
But my point is, I need y'all to do a little research, a little checking around, because I'm dead serious. And the decision on whether we go with St. Paul or not, don't get me wrong, family, I want St. Paul's. I want it. That's plan 1 for me. But if it don't go through, Detroit and Chicago. I'm in Chicago tomorrow. I didn't plan to come to Detroit for 1 day. I was supposed to have been here for 3 days, but I got invited to the Wendy Williams thing. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to meet a couple of rich folk. And unfortunately, a good sister who does a lot of good work in the community in Chicago, her son was murdered last week. And it's a shame. You know why? Because when I was in Chicago last spring, guess who presented me with a $1,000 check for the school?
Yeah.
It was that sister. And then I got the call last week that her son was shot coming home from a baby shower. Wasn't bothering nobody. So they called me up and said, Doc, the ancestors put it on our heart to ask you if you could come and be here. They having his celebration of life tomorrow. at the Chicago Department of Inner City Studies. It's not public though. It's only private, and they asked me to come and speak, so I had to give up y'all Saturday for them, but I'm sure y'all don't mind because y'all will want me to do the same thing for y'all.
That's right.
Okay, so that's where we are, brothers and sisters. Should we go forward and pull back? And if we pull back and look at Detroit and Chicago as a plan B, do you have any schools that you suggest I take a look at before I make my decision? Everybody with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Some other things. I'm taking my first group trip to West Africa on Tuesday. We're going to Ghana for 2 weeks. Y'all should know this. We talked about this at the last meeting, but I know some of y'all couldn't make it because the last time I was here, we was out at the, what's the name of that community center? Royal Oak, and the snow was like taller than my daughter. So I know some of y'all couldn't come. Y'all don't do code, I understand. But that's okay if you can't go to Ghana. We got about 50 brothers and sisters going with us. It's my first group trip, not my first trip, but it is my first trip to Ghana and my first group trip. Next year, we're going to South Africa. So start saving your money, okay? When I come back from Ghana on August the 3rd, and make sure y'all say a prayer for us because these planes ain't been staying in the air lately, okay? Pray for me.
Yes, sir.
And I'm serious about that. It's a lot of us going. Some of us are youth. Some of us are elders. Okay? Pray for that plane to stay the hell up in the air. Ashe.
And to come down safely.
And that it come down safely. Because, the FBI and CIA playing games with these planes, and I don't even want them to know I'm on it. Dang. There he goes! But anyway, we'll be going to South Africa next year. Save your money up. The Ghana trip was $3,200. The South Africa trip gonna cost a little bit more because South Africa a little bit more expensive. So if you say, Dr. Umar, I'm gonna start saving for South Africa, how much you suggest I put to the side? If you can put 5 to the side, I doubt if you'll be using it all, but if you can put 5 to the side, you'll be good. The reason I say you go up, it's better to go up and have some leftover money than go down and you can't go up. Remember that, they play with the gas prices. The gas prices dictate the air flight. Sometimes you go to Africa, it might be $900 on a round trip. But then when they start playing with the terrorist nonsense, the tickets go up to $2,000. And that ain't even dealing with your transportation, your meals, your travel, in and out the hotels, the boat rides, so forth and so on. But in South Africa next year, it's going to pretty much be the same time, July 22nd to August 3rd. Make sure you block out July. It will definitely be in July. We're going to go to Nelson Mandela's resting site where he's buried. We're going to go to his home. We're going to go to Robben Island in Cape Coast, South Africa, where he was in prison. We also going to go to Soweto, which is where he's from, Sarafina, the whole 1976 student uprising. They have a museum there. You want to see that. Then we're going to go to Durban, which is KwaZulu. That is the kingdom of Zulu. We're going to take you to Shaka Zulu's museum and Shaka Zulu's gravesite. I've been before. The wooden stone that his 2 half-brothers killed him with, the tree stump, is still there. Some people say it's not the authentic one, but other people say, nah, that's the one he was killed on. It's right there at his grave, and his grave is by the museum. Some of y'all do a little gambling, so we're going to let y'all do the casino thing. Okay, lose all your money if you want. The East Indians. Anyway, we're going to go to Johannesburg so you can get your shop on. We're going to go to the beaches. We're going to take you to Pretoria so you can visit the government of South Africa. We're going to be on the boats. We're going to be in the museums. It's going to be one hell of a trip. You're going to get your nightlife in, your party life in, shopping, the whole nine. You can take the whole family if you want. So next year is South Africa. The year after that, we're doing Ethiopia. So those are our next 2 trips. I'm not doing Kemet because Baba Ashwa Kwesi already has a magnificent Kemetic tour, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And my elder does a good job. So the Kemet tour, you go with him on Kemet. I want to hit all the other places that ain't nobody thinking about. Okay, I was even reluctant to do Ghana because the only places black people know is Ghana and Egypt. Africa is more than Ghana and Egypt. But I need to go to Ghana and see what the big damn deal is. Okay? But then after that, we're going over, then we're going to go Kenya. We're going to do Kenya the 3rd year. So you mess with me, you go to every place in Africa before it's all over with. Okay? So start saving that money. What else is up?
You said that's 5K per or a couple of
5K per person. You feel me? But I doubt you'll be spending all that, and with a couple, I'm sure there's a break in there somewhere. Okay? What else is up? I need y'all to join my text message club. Take out your cell phone. Everybody take out your cell phone. You're going to join Dr. Umar text message club. It's free. You do not pay for it. I pay for it, so use it. And it ain't cheap, so use it. What you're going to do, you're going to start a new text message. You're going to start a fresh text message,
and you're going to text Dr. Umar. Now let's see if y'all can get this right, because some cities ain't been getting it right. D-R-U-M-A-R in all capitals, without a period and without a space. D-R-U-M-A-R is the message. That is the content in the message. 6 letters. D-R-U-M-A-R. And you're going to text Dr. Umar to 36000. So the recipient is 36,000. The message is Dr. Umar. Everybody got that?
Yep. With that.
Okay. Now some of y'all got them burnout phones from John and him. It might not work. You got the John Hood special. Okay?
All capitals?
All capitals. Now, let me tell you a little trick to this. Depending on your cell phone carrier, some people have been telling me that with their specific cell phone carrier, because some of y'all got the Metro, which is like a step up from John and them. But anyway, I'm picking with y'all. Some people telling me that they have to do, what up, Zop? Some people telling me that they have to do capital D, small r, capital U, small M-A-R. Capitalize the D and the U, that's all. Most of y'all, Dr. Umar, all caps is gonna work. Some of y'all, because of your deal, your month to month, you gotta do capital D and the capital U and everything else lowercase. Put it on the board. Damn, I'm putting back. So you're going to text Dr. Umar. That's the message. D-R-U-M-A-R. You're going to text that message to 36,000. Depending on your phone, you might got to do this. Capital D, lower R, capital U, lower M-A-R. No period, no space. 36,000 is the recipient. Okay, if it don't go through, you might got a bill to pay. Okay? And why this? Because this is going to keep you in touch with me. It don't cost you no money on your bill, okay? You'll be able to see that. I'll pay. This way I can let you know what's going on, how things are looking, so forth and so on. But the next 2 steps, number 1, is for me to find out how we're going to do St. Paul's. If they let us do the commercial inspection and the title search before I put the deposit down, we going for it. Well, we good until I make the decision whether we're going to go for it. But if that don't check out, if they say, nah, we're not going to let you do the inspection until we get your deposit, honestly, brothers and sisters, I don't see me giving them $150,000 of your money with no return, and I don't know what state them buildings are in. Y'all feel me?
Yes, sir.
So if they do that, I'm automatically looking at Detroit and Chicago. Why? Detroit, Philadelphia, and Chicago are the 3 largest public school shutdown operations in America. Detroit, Philadelphia, and Chicago. I've been in Philadelphia for 40 years. I got to get out, so that's not an option. I need a break. That automatically takes me to Chicago and Detroit. Chicago already got a couple little homeschool operations going that ain't too bad. I'm still looking at them, though. I got a realtor there. I'm going to look at the schools in Chicago. But from what I'm told, the schools are going to be cheaper here than in Chicago. But then I'm also told that Chicago schools are going to be in better condition than Detroit schools. So I'm going to look at both. You feel me? But I know Detroit can use that school. You feel me? So now, that means what? If we end up going with plan B and Dr. Umar comes to Detroit, I'm going to have to form an inner circle who's going to work with me. An FDMG exploratory committee, people I can trust. Did y'all hear that word, trust?
Yes, sir.
Because some of y'all talk too much. Some of you are undercover snitches and haters and Facebook groupies and shit. I don't need that in my team. Okay? I need people who are going to do the work, who can keep their mouth shut, who are responsible. I don't need a lot of you. I just need like a nice dirty dozen that can take care of some stuff. If you're interested in being on that team, you're going to sign up with Sister LaDonna on my back table tonight when we're done. She's going to screen you first. She's my Team Pan-African assistant here in Detroit. She's going to screen you first, and if everything checks out with her, I'm going to screen you. And that's how we choosing people. I can't let, this is too important for me to let some haters into the team. And one thing I've learned in this conscious community as long as I've been in it, people don't tell you they don't like you up front. It ain't till I get on Facebook and see that he done said something about me behind my back, but when he was in my face, he had nothing to say. You see? So I know that we not man and woman enough to say, you know what, Dr. Umar, I'm not feeling you, so I'm just going to stay out your project. No. I'm not feeling you, and I'm gonna get in your project. Look at that. And waste my damn time. So we gotta scream, because everybody in here ain't for me. Some of y'all here to just report to other cliques and factions in the conscious community. But you know, tell them I said I'm the shit, and that's just the way it's gonna be. And by the way, there's this thing going around on Facebook about why Dr. Umar won't show his credentials. First of all, I'm gonna give you 2 reasons. First, let me give you the simplest. If you know how to use the internet, my degree, where I got it from, the whole dissertation is online. But why don't you just tell them? Because I got Negroes who have called the Association of School Psychologists. I got Negroes who have called the American Psychological Association. I got Negroes who have called every college I graduated from, complaining about my positions on special ed and ADHD. I had to go to a meeting with the Pennsylvania State Board of Psychology about complaints from Negroes, not white folks. That's why I'm not putting it out there, because I got jealous idiots trying to tear me down as fast as I'm trying to build. So I got to keep my stuff to myself. Okay? That's why. The other thing, that 8 years I spent working on that doctorate from the white folks, the money I put in, the psychological stress I put in, I'll be damned if I'm approved to anybody what the hell I had to work for. I'm not going to do it. But the crazy thing about it, family, I speak at white colleges all the time. Do you really think a predominantly white university is going to bring Mr. Unapologetically African on campus? They know where I graduated from before I even show up. Yeah, we looked at your doctoral dissertation last night. How did you get it? Well, there's ways to get it. But I'm not worried about them. I got the work to do. Because we got intellectual masturbators in this conscious thing. We got people who don't want to do nothing but get bigger and more swollen off of information. The information ain't going to help us, brothers and sisters. We got to do the work. I know we love to talk about Kemet and the Nile Valley and King Tut and all the great sciences of our ancestors and yada, yada, yada. I'm with that. We want to teach it to our children, but at the end of the day, that's not going to save you. We got to have a plan of action that is well thought out, strategic, with objectives and measurable goals. That's how we get out of this. That's right. You think reading 10 more books is going to solve your problem. You got to work, but the problem with us black folks, conscious or unconscious, and I still don't know what the operational definition of a conscious community is, but none of us are doing the work. We celebrated 50 years of the civil rights movement on July 2nd. A couple weeks ago, 50 years of that. What do we got to show for it? They took it from us. And how did they take the civil rights bill from black folks? Before Obama wasn't even thought of. It's because when John F. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd of 1963, the destiny of the civil rights bill fell on the lap of Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was no friend of the Negro. Neither was Kennedy, but Lyndon Baines was like Bush. He didn't hide his true feelings. The United States congressman, white racist, stepped to Lyndon Johnson and said, if you want this civil rights bill to pass, you got to change 2 things for us. I want y'all to hear this so you know why the bill is being used for non-African people of color more than for you. And you know what they demanded? They said, first things, this country forbids any law to specifically and exclusively benefit black people. So number one, you can't have a law that's just for them. It's against the white supremacist ethos of American culture. So they said, what should we do? They said, number one, we're going to change that word Negro to minority. And we're going to define minority
as all non-white people. Dr. King was against it. The Civil Rights Movement, SNCC and CORE and SL, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, they was against it because they said if you do this, you take from us and give to other people who did not fight in this struggle, who were not the victims of enslavement. They say, yeah, Latinos and Arabs and East Indians and Mexicans, they have a struggle, but this is ours. They said, no. The Civil Rights Bill will be for all non-whites. But they wasn't done yet, brothers and sisters. They demanded something else. They said, we want an additional protective category. And people said, what is that additional protective category? And they said, we want the word sex included in the law. Why did they want the word sex inserted in the Civil Rights Bill? So that the rich white man could send his rich white wife to the Detroit Women and Minority Business Development Agency and take money that was supposed to be for you because she's a woman, even though she's rich and white, she's a woman, she can take your grant money and bring it home to her rich husband and use your money for their estate. And that's where all the contracts are going in Detroit. The white man is sending his white wife in to get your grants. Because we fight for minorities now. Have you recognized what's going on over the past 6 years under Obama? And it ain't all his fault. I'm just saying under Obama so you have a point of reference. Have you noticed they've made everything America can't stand acceptable except you? Being gay is acceptable, but not being black. Being an illegal immigrant is acceptable, but not being black. Being a Muslim from the Middle East is acceptable, but not being black. Look what they've done. They've made every other minority group acceptable. Did you hear what Obama just did? They just approved a multi-million-dollar resort to be turned into a residential shelter for illegal immigrant juveniles. You can't keep St. Paul's open, but you'll spend billions for illegal immigrant children. This is why I say we got to be unapologetically African. Everybody else is already being taken care of. What is Obama working on now? He's working on the Equal Pay Act. He wants white women to get the same pay as men, and I'm for that. But my problem is what? Half the black men in Detroit can't find a damn job, but you got time to help women get more money in their check when my brothers ain't got a check at all. Look at this. I woke up today only to see a headline that Rahm Emanuel, and I'll be in Chicago tomorrow, Rahm Emanuel is calling on the National Guard. You think you got killing now? You don't use the military to police a civilian population. Militaries are trained to exterminate, not to control. But maybe that's the plan all along. See, if you look at the Detroit and the Chicago situation, what do you see it? In Detroit, you're seeing a political economic war being waged to decimate African infrastructure, leave you with no utilities, leave you with no services, leave you with no infrastructure. And in Chicago, it's the opposite. We ain't going to kill the economics and the infrastructure. We've already done that. We're going to take their lives. And then they'll put on the news, 180 people were shot in Chicago this weekend, 14 murdered. But when you look at the fine print, you see that half of the 14 murdered were murdered by the biggest gang in Chicago, the damn police. But they don't tell you that. They say, oh, 20 was killed this week. You say, damn. They don't tell you that 10 of the 20 was killed by cops. And if I end up in Detroit, I ain't just coming to build no school. I'm coming to build the community back up. I mean, fellas, we got to take the streets back. We got to make the streets safe for our women, and we got to make the streets safe for our children.
Same message I'm going to tell them in Chicago tomorrow. Brothers, you got to check this. The cops can't do it because they started it. There was an article that came out, said in Chicago, the police are leaving guns on the train stop. They said brothers getting on the train in Chicago, and it's just a gun sitting there. Giving them guns to wipe each other. This was in the news. And you see what they doing in Detroit. They want to make Detroit the Wild Wild West, destroy it, turn it into an abandoned house, the whole city. Why? Because then white folks could come and buy it up for pennies on the dollar and turn it into a multi-million-dollar rich white-only community. We know what they trying to do. This is what they do around the country. Let the ghetto go to hell. Make it as cheap as you could possibly make it. And then once it can't get no cheaper, then it'll be manifest destiny, every rich white man for himself. And that's why we got to build that Detroit Black Credit Union. We talked about that last time. Some of y'all were supposed to help me on that and you fell through. We got to stop having church and we got to start doing movement between the meetings. Movement between the meetings. That was Kwanzaa when some of you said, Dr. Umar, we're going to get the paperwork. We're going to go over. I never heard from you again. I don't have time to chase you. You got to realize I'm working with 40 different cities at once. I got New York to worry about, St. Louis to worry about, Norfolk to worry about, Richmond, Baltimore, D.C., Philly. I can't chase you. I need you to do what you got to do. So I'm going to put it out there again tonight. Anybody in here who's serious about that Detroit Black Credit Union, send me a text to my phone so we can have a conference call and talk about how we're going to get that thing up and running, whether I end up here or not. What's my cell number so everybody have it? Let me give you my cell number right now. It is 215-989-9858. I repeat, 215-989-9858. We got the board. I might as well use it. 215-989-9858. That's my cell. Say that again. Ladies, don't be sending me nothing crazy on my pictures. Okay? Because I'm going to get a restraining order on that ass. Send it again.
That's right, that's right.
That was funny. But seriously.
I'm trying to eat my breakfast and you sending me all types of unhealthy looking stuff. Stop it, Detroit. Stop it! DrUmarJohnsonSchool.com is the one website, and y'all should know my personal website, which is DrUmarJohnson.com. Just cut the school off. That's my personal website, but you're going to make your donation at DrUmarJohnsonSchool.com. If you want to mail in your donation, some people are not comfortable with PayPal and credit card online. I totally understand. You go to either website, and the mailing address is there. Send your check or money order to the school. We're trying to get that money. Even if we don't go with St. Paul's, if it's looking fishy at the end, and we end up in Detroit, we still going to have to get up to like $2.5 million. Raise your hand if you're a retired educator. You're retired now. You used to be an educator. Okay, you can put your hands down, because one thing I'm going to do if I end up here, and I'm talking to my retired brothers and sisters, we're going to have a retired educators conference, because I'm going to need y'all. Y'all going to play a pivotal role. I'm going to need y'all to be the instructional coaches. I'm going to need y'all to be the department chairs. Okay, I'm going to really need my retired educators in a real meaningful way if this whole thing pops off. Okay, what else is up? The Shockumentary. Some of y'all volunteered to be interviewed for my documentary, The Shockumentary. You will be getting interviewed soon. In fact, when I go to New York on Monday night, because we fly to Africa Tuesday night, so I'm going to be in New York on Monday night, because getting through that Lincoln Tunnel, I can't afford to miss that flight. I'm the leader of the group. So anyway, I'm going to get the Shockumentary list on Monday. You're going to get a phone call within the next month, letting you know when Dr. Umar will be coming to Detroit to interview you for the Shockumentary. Now, some of y'all saying, what is the Shockumentary? It's a documentary I'm going to use to help make money for the school, talking about the psychoacademic war against black boys, how they use special education, ADHD, Ritalin, Adderall, Concerta, school expulsion, suspension, juvenile detention, and premature extermination as a weapon of mass destruction against black boys. If you have a story that needs to be included, something that happened to you or your son, or you saw it happen to a black boy, you don't have to be a male. Ladies, this includes you too. I even want some white folks for this. I want them to tell the truth. Okay? But if you saw something happen to a young black male, Some of my brothers, some of y'all, when y'all was young, y'all got some stories. You can tell your own story. I want some mother-son, some father-son, some husband-wife-son stories on how they put your son on drugs and he didn't need it. How they said Raheem was mentally retarded and you found out later Raheem never was.
That's what they do.
How your son got beat up by the police and he wasn't even guilty. So if you have a testimonial for the shockumentary, text your name, your city, and the word shockumentary to my cell phone. So if I was texting myself, it'll be Dr. Umar, North Philadelphia, shockumentary. Okay? You'd be Cousin John, East Side Detroit, shockumentary. Okay? But if you have a story, and I don't just need victims, I need educators. If you were teachers, some of our retired educators, if you want to talk on the war against black boys, text me. Some of y'all police, social workers, community activists, some of my brothers in the barbershop. Y'all done heard all kinds of stories. You might want to speak about one you heard. Send me that text, because it's going to be a powerful documentary, y'all. We're trying to shake the fabric of America with this one, something that they've never seen.
That's right.
Okay, so we got the shockumentary rolling. South Africa, I talked about. Fred Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, I talked about. I don't know if y'all heard. The drug Risperdal been all over the commercials. Have y'all seen it?
Yeah.
Okay? The drug is making our boys grow breasts.
That's right.
Y'all saw that, right?
Yeah.
So for those of y'all who, what is it, hypo, I forget what they call it. It just means big breasts. The child eats the Risperdal for anger, and it causes him to grow breasts. So we got boys growing breasts because you want them to learn about Shakespeare quietly. Okay? Stop putting black boys on drugs. Stop putting black girls on drugs. They don't need drugs. You know what the problem of education is? Real simple. Let's make it real simple. The problem with education, with black boys, it's not about education. You know what it's about? Effeminization. In other words, black boys are being suffocated with feminine energy 24 hours a day.
That's right.
They have their mother at home, love you to death, mom, but he needs a break from you sometimes. And then they come to school and they got a white racist female all day. Where are the men at? There's no men in there. So if you want to cut suspension, cut ADHD, cut the learning disability, then you give every black boy a black male teacher. That's all you have to do. But the problem is, if you want to give every black boy a black male teacher, you got to lay off a whole lot of white women. And America not going to let that happen. That's the problem. So stop blaming our boys. He is hungry for masculine energy.
That's right.
That's why they hang on the corner all day.
That's right.
You say, why they be on the corner all day, not selling drugs, not smoking weed, just standing there? You know why? They feeding off each other's energy.
That's right.
I'm a man and I need masculine, so I'm going to get with my homies and we just going to chill because I need that in my life.
That's right.
That's why at FDMG, we're going to give them all the men that they need. But I'm going to make sure I do a thorough psyche eval on you fellas because we can't allow no freaky zeekies up in the academy. One freaky zeekie will destroy the whole school.
You're right.
I'm gonna have cameras everywhere. I can't have them in the bathroom, but I'm gonna have them soon when you open the door, but before you get in. Everything will be cameraed on my campus because I can't take the risks.
That's right.
And it's to protect you too. Because somebody go to their child, you know, I did a research paper when I was working on my doctorate on false memory. Let me tell you about this thing called false memory. The research says that you can give a child a memory of something they never even been through. Did y'all hear that?
Yes, sir.
That's why when a child claims sex abuse, the first thing you're supposed to do is interview that child in an open-ended way. We don't do that. You know what you do when somebody tell you somebody touched you something? You go say stupid stuff like, did he touch you here? Did he take you by? You giving them the story.
Right.
You don't give them the story. You want to get somebody locked up who ain't even do a damn thing. You got to say, did something happen? What happened? Keep it open. Who was involved? What exactly did they do? Don't give the child questions that they can easily answer with a yes or a no. If you're giving the child questions that they can easily answer with a yes or a no, you are leading them. You are putting a false memory in their mind of something that didn't even exist. And the research says what? A child can be traumatized by a false memory. And now your child is in court testifying against Uncle Billy. Uncle Billy might not even touched her, but because her mother asked so many closed-ended yes, no leading questions, and she's been doing this for 6 weeks before the court case, Uncle Benji is doomed because we don't know how to interview our children. Don't get me wrong, sex abuse is a big issue. Most of the time, them kids ain't lying. Most of the time, they right. But as somebody who works in the prisons, I'm going to tell you, there's brothers in jail who are innocent. There's mothers in jail who are innocent. Real rap. And that's another reason why I want that St. Paul's campus, because we need to have black female retreats. Not with Dr. Umar, but just with the women, so y'all can process y'all own traumas. Because women got things to process that can't no man be there when you talk about your own sex abuse. Can't nobody, no man be there. That's for y'all to do with each other. And men, we got issues we got to handle with ourselves. I remember I was in Texas. I'll never forget it. Brother pulled me to the side. He was a student at, I forget the college in Texas. He said, yo, I'm going to say this, and I hope you don't reject me. Dr. Umar, I was practicing homosexuality for a couple years, but I know it ain't right. And I ain't got nobody to talk to about this. This is a real story, yo. He said, do you mind if I call you from time to time? Because I don't want to be that. I know I'm supposed to be a man, but I need somebody who can help guide me right with this thing. And me and him been keeping in touch ever since. He ain't going to say there's no room for no women. He pulled me to the side. He didn't even know me. We just met that first day. He didn't know if I was backhanding, punchy, whatever. I said, nah, brother, you call on me. I've never been in that boat, but whatever I can do to help guide you out, I'll do that. We hard against that behavior. We don't condone it. We don't accept it. That's not our culture. I want to be clear about that. We're not teaching that to our children.
That's right.
But as a therapist, I understand how some of y'all came into that life of no fault of your own, but through sexual molestation and abuse and exploitation. And because I know that many of us who's affected with that sickness came to it innocently, because our mothers and fathers don't know how to choose our babysitters correctly. I got to work with it. I'm not accepting it. I will treat it. I will work with you. You can't come amongst our children with that energy. But I'm not going to slice your head off either. It's called balance. It's called balance. Having said that, I want to say one more thing before I go to questions. I was offered a job as a charter school principal last week. There's a school that feels that they can use my help, and y'all know one of my credentials is principal. And I used to be a charter school administrator a couple of years ago. I'm probably going to accept the post. The school was stopped. The school was open just last year by a sister, a good sister too, who grew up under Marva Collins out of Chicago. And she needs a strong black male presence in there, somebody who knows instruction, curriculum, discipline, special ed, da-da-da-da-da. So I'm going to take the job. Not because I need it, but those children in there need me. Why am I telling y'all this? Because some of y'all get your information from Facebook and not the horse's mouth enough. Right. This don't stop nothing. All this does is get my feet wet again, because I've been away from the principalship doing school psychology exclusively for 6 years. Are y'all following me? Yes, sir. So this is just an opportunity for me to get my feet wet again, because this is what we're about to do. Once FDMG is up and ready to go, I have to leave. So that means I'll probably be there a year and a half. But as soon as we are ready to go with our school, I have to offer my resignation. Is everybody clear? Yes, sir. Yeah. This is not a distraction. I got people talking about, yeah, they say you about to give up on the school because you just got offered some job. We knew you was a bourgeois. I never once said I was giving up on my dream. I know my ancestors put me here to build that school. The school going to get built. Does this mean it's going to cut down on my speaking? Yeah, it is. But I think it's a necessary sacrifice that I need to make. Okay, I've been traveling non-stop for 4 years. Y'all know this. Most requested in the country for 4 years. Am I going to stop traveling? No. She said she will even work with me. I told her I got a responsibility to raise this money for the school, and I got a responsibility to African parents all across the country. She said, I understand. I will work with you. So I will still be speaking. You just might not see me in Detroit for the whole week. It might just be for a day or two. So the show goes on. I just want to put that out there because there's all types of folks on social network putting all type of misinformation out about me, about St. Paul's, about this, about that, and all this foolishness. So I want you to get it from the horse's mouth. But brothers and sisters, I want to say this and then go to questions. Please keep your faith in our ability to transform our reality at an all-time high. Some of y'all getting hopeless, and I need you to get your backbone back. Don't give up the hope. Please don't give up the hope. We celebrate 50 years of civil rights this year. We celebrate 60 years of school desegregation this year. We celebrate 100 years of Garvey and Garveyism this year. We'll be celebrating that in New York City, August 14th through the 17th. I'll be speaking on Saturday, August the 16th, and then I'll be celebrating 100 years of Garveyism in Fort Lauderdale with the Bobo Shanti Rastafari, and I will also be celebrating it in Washington, D.C. on Sunday, August 10th in D.C. So if you want to be a part of any of the Garvey celebrations, Marcus Garvey's organization turns 100 years old. Not Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism was around before Garvey's parents were born. Remember, Marcus Garvey taught us nothing new. Marcus Garvey taught us nothing new. Every cornerstone of the Garvey program was already with us. So what made Garvey great? He was able to give Pan-Africanism a global program and a movement that we never seen. Martin Delany had ships. Martin Delany said Africa for the Africans. Garvey just extended it to Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. Garvey wasn't the first who said some of us need to go back to Africa. And by the way, Marcus Garvey never led anything called a Back to Africa program. That was a media invention. I want to be clear. Well, didn't he go back to Africa? No. First of all, Garvey never went to Africa because the white man didn't let him. He never touched foot on African soil. They refused it because they thought it would touch off a revolution. Garvey said only those of us who got something to offer Africa should go back. Not everybody. I don't want a big ship and put all of Detroit on a one-way ticket to Africa with your blunts and cigarettes and white girlfriends and perms and basketball. Could you imagine what would happen in Africa after 30 days if the whole Detroit was suddenly taken back?
Yeah. He did.
Could you imagine? It'd be a civil war. No, I don't eat with my hands. These people, they primitive. So you got to pick and choose who goes back to Africa. What's the principles of Garvey? Garvey said, number one, your God better look like you. That comes from Garvey. Elijah got it from Garvey. Remember, there's no Garvey, there would be no Elijah. Garvey was first. He said, your God better look like you. But he wasn't even the first to say that. Bishop Henry McNeil Turner, who was called Garvey before Garvey, was the first black man to say God was black. Elijah Muhammad went to his elementary school as a child in Georgia. See, that's the history of Pan-Africanism. But your God got to look like you. Some of y'all say, why does that matter if my Jesus is white? Because if the child grows up and is fed a steady diet of a white Jesus in his mind, if the brain is an associating organism and the brain likes to generalize facts and data, if God is white, the brain will automatically generalize that all white men must be God. And that's why growing up, black men, you remember sometimes you be in the presence of a white principal, a white cop, you automatically bow down and don't even know why. It's because you already been conditioned in Sunday school that the white man was your Lord and Savior. It's the same thing, ladies. You've been in a bad relationship with a man. Do you know what your brain generally does? That you got to fight back against it. What? Generalize to every man. What happened to you with that one? Fellas, what did you do? Sister take you for bag, took your money, child support court.
Paid them all.
Damn! They turned the water off, turn off the child support. And what does your brain do, black man? It generalizes to all women. They all gonna do this to me just because one woman did it. Because that's what your brain does. It generalizes. And if the brain is going to draw a conclusion about a generality from a specificality, you better make sure the specifics are accurate. You better make sure the specifics are accurate.
Shrine of the Black Madonna, that came out of Detroit, did it not?
Yes, sir.
So I shouldn't see no black person in Detroit with a white Jesus.
Right.
The movement came out your city for Black Christ.
See? Garvey said we got to identify with being African. Garvey said we got to be proud to be African. Garvey said our international government should be located in Africa. This is what makes us look so fanatical as Pan-Africanists. Why does the Garveyites feel the government of our people got to be in Africa? Why can't it be in South America? Why can't it be in America?
Why?
Exactly. Why? Why am I going to give up the richest piece of real estate on earth? Because I hate who I am. That's why the Garvey program has been the only program, along with the predecessors of his, that said, we're not settling for those states in America. We want Africa back, because as Africa goes, so goes the rest of us. See, y'all fail to understand something. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, the whole integrationist movement failed to understand you cannot divorce your condition from the condition of Africa. Chinese get respect in Detroit. Chinese get respect in London. Chinese get respect in South Africa. Chinese get respect in Australia. Why? Because China is powerful. And since China is powerful, Chinese are powerful everywhere. The East Indian get respect in New York. The East Indian get respect in Jamaica. The East Indian get respect in West Africa. Why can he go anywhere and get respect? Because East India gets it. How are you going to get respect when your ancestral homeland doesn't get none?
That's right.
You can't rise higher than your mother. So as Africa go, we go. So in Pan-Africanism, we say we fight two wars, one for Africa and one against white supremacy right here. Don't let nobody tell you the Pan-Africanists, all they care about is Africa. We got problems here and now. Show me a Pan-Africanist who neglected local struggle for international rights. In fact, it was Pan-Africanists who led the fight to end abolition. The idea for a march in Washington, 1963, Dr. King, do you know that idea came from a Garveyite? Most of the stuff that you give the integrationists respect and credit for came out of the mind of Pan-Africanists. We fight at home and we fight for Africa, all at the same time. In conclusion, a new school year is coming up. And y'all know last time I was here, y'all signed up for the Parent Association. For those of you who didn't sign up for the Parent Association, you're going to sign up for it tonight in the back. Sister LaDonna's going to make sure we differentiate between those of y'all who want to be a part of the inner circle for the school versus those who want to be a part of the Parent Association. Because I want to do a parent advocacy training before the school year starts. When does school start back up for the children in Detroit? After Labor Day. What's that, September what? September 7th. So that means we got to do a parent advocacy training before September 7th. Make sure Sister LaDonna has your email so you'll know when Dr. Umar is going to have the training. I'm going to probably do it right here at the Truth Bookstore while not. Because some of y'all got to be advocates. Whenever a parent needs to go into a school meeting, they should not be by themselves. They need somebody to go with them. Y'all follow me? Why? Because when you go by yourself, what do? They manipulate you. They bully you. They intimidate you. They make you think you don't know what the hell you talk about. Right, mothers? They bring you in there by yourself, and then they bring 15 members of the school team. The principal, vice principal, principal intern, social worker, nurse, counselor, psychologist, reading specialist, math coach, window cleaner, bus driver, bathroom. Right? For one black mom, you got the whole damn staff.
Right.
Why do they do that? To make you think you don't know your child better than them.
That's true. That is so true.
And what's the first thing the white woman say? I'm offended that you would even consider thinking that I don't like your son. I've been teaching black boys in inner city Detroit for over 35 years. I'm offended, I'm appalled that you would even say this. I want to even cry right now. I could have left the ghetto a long time ago. And I stayed right here to help your children, and you look me in the face and say I don't care about your son when I taught you and your sister? And then they start making you feel like you don't know what you're talking about. And now you start, maybe Dr. Umar was wrong. Maybe ADHD is real. Maybe ain't no daddy at home disorder
is real. Maybe special ed is good. And they get you, they say, yeah, we know Dr. Umar was in Detroit on Friday, and we like what the brother has to say, but he's radical. My grandson was on Ritalin. It wasn't that bad. He cockeyed it now, but John can walk. My daughter was on Concerta. It ain't that bad. She slipped and fell in a manhole, but she got out. And then when they got you thinking that you don't know what you're talking about, then they bring Queen Mother Coochie Chocolate in. The meeting was all white, then a black lady came in. Boom! Dashiki insane shea butter. Smelling all Caribbean. She says, oh my God, I remember you. You grew up on my Black History programs. You used to come to my Kwanzaa candle lighting. These white folks is good white folks here in Detroit. Dr. Umar, I don't know what he's talking about. I've been working with these people for 20 years. If they say he needs special ed, just try it out. You can always take them out. You don't like the medicine, just try it out. You can always discontinue. No, the hell you can't. They're gonna call Child Protective Services on you and come and take your children.
There it is, right here.
There you go. Children Protective Services uses taxpayer money for state-sanctioned kidnapping by lying. Give me that boy.
I know what's up.
Queen Mother. What's your name, Queen Mother?
Debbie Williams.
Debbie Williams. She got it right here.
Right.
This is what we need, a whole bunch of these. Take it back to the 60s. Right here, family.
You can have it. I'll give it to you. I paid $280 for that boy.
Or you have to ship it to me because you know I can't get this on Southwest. 2 bags go for free. 2 bags go for free. Yeah! He got a PhD, still looking for deals! So, if you put your child on medicine and you decide you're going to stop giving them the medicine, they're going to call these people on you. What do they call them in Detroit? In New Jersey, it's DIFUS and Philly, it's
CPS.
Oh, CPS?
Yeah.
Okay.
Simple.
CPS, they're going to call these people. You stop giving them the Ritalin, the Adderall, Concerta, Depakote, Paxil, Prozac, Zoloft. They're going to call CPS and take your children. It's called medical neglect. I keep telling y'all, stop putting our boys on them pills. They don't need drugs, they need their daddies.
Amen.
And then after they take your kids, who they give them to? The gay couples.
Oh,
Yes,
we know
yes,
about it.
yes,
That's
yes,
what
yes,
they do.
yes, yes.
Yes, they do.
There was an article, they said most African-American foster parented children end up
That's right.
with new wave couples.
That's the truth.
And that's who raising them.
That's the truth.
But if you listen to Dr. Umar and not put him on the medicine in the first place, you ain't got to go through this. I got a whole chapter in my book on how to deal with behavior without medicine. I'm gonna give you 2 quick principles. And then we're gonna do the quick Q&A because I don't went over. Holy Ghost. I gotta get back in my principle. That means I can't wear jeans no more. They might make me cut my beard a little low.
Jeans on Friday.
Don't shave your mustache off.
Oh, no, that's a feminine. I can't do that. You see me with a butt lip, you know what that means. Wrong! Somebody put 2 pounds of sugar in my drink!
I can watch your videos no more.
Somebody saw Dr. Umar floating! All right. I'm gonna do a 5-minute behavior modification, and then we're gonna do what? 5 minutes, I'm gonna make it real simple. Now, every time a child does something, there's 5 functions that tell you why your child is doing what they're doing wrong in your house. Function number 1, your child wants attention. Attention. If your child is in the 4th grade or younger, if your child is in the 4th grade or younger, I'm willing to bet they are misbehaving in school because you're not giving them enough time at home. Everybody heard that? That's right. He keeps going to school, getting in trouble. What grade is he in? He's in the 3rd grade. When the last time you and your son had a mommy-son date? When the last time you and your daughter had a daddy-daughter date? Well, I take all my kids out together. That's the problem. You're supposed to take all the kids out together. But if you got 3 kids, that means in addition to the family time, you got to do one-on-one time. You got 6 kids, you need 6 different dates. You got 2 kids, 2 different dates. Why? Why can't I spend time with my whole family together? I work 2 and 3 jobs, Dr. Umar, because your 16-year-old daughter, she ready to bake a damn cookie. Her hormones is firing off and she need to holler. But she can't tell you that in front of her 13-year-old brother. Her 13-year-old brother still peeing in the bed. He can't tell you that in front of his 8-year-old sister. 8-year-old sister getting bullied at school. She don't want her 5-year-old brother to hear that. Children need their privacy, but y'all don't give them their privacy. I'm glad you're taking the whole family out. Build that family commitment, but you still got to give every child their individuality. And if you don't, they're going to go to school and act a damn fool. Some of y'all was class clowns growing up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Daddy wasn't there, so I got my attention from my friends at school. Most of the time, that's the reason. Second cause of behavior is what? They don't want to do it. They want to get the hell out of the class, escape. Rikers Island, I want out. Now, this is when your thinking cap go on. If your child is doing what they're doing at home in school because they don't want to do it, then here's my question to you. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. What is the consequence you're going to put in place that's going to make them do it because they don't want to suffer that consequence? The whole behavior plan is held together by consequences and rewards. Y'all listening to me, daddies? My fathers, we are real good on consequences, but we don't give out rewards when our children do well. Mamas, y'all real good on rewards, but y'all don't give out no consequences. Now, when you got a mommy and a daddy in the house, it's perfect because mama going to give all the love, daddy going to set the boundaries. But when it ain't no daddy there, now mommy got to wear the pants too. And it ain't fair, mothers. It ain't fair. It ain't fair, but I need y'all to do a better job. Because some of our mothers are raising their sons to be the exact type of men you want your daughter to marry. Ain't that something? I said you raising your son, mother, to be the exact type of man you yourself wouldn't want to marry. You want a man to be responsible, but your son ain't. You want a man who can pay the bill, but your son not. And then sometimes that causes relationship problems because when you meet a real man, not one jealous of your son because he wish he wasn't there, but a real man. And he see your son ain't got no discipline, the first thing a man want to do is what? Discipline the cubs. But then you step in. Y'all know how y'all mothers is with y'all sons. Don't say nothing to him. Just tell me. Just tell you ain't gonna do nothing. He down there smacking you around. Tell you for what? So you can get your ass licked. Tell you for what? And that's that protective nurturance of the mother. But mother, you got to know when enough is enough because some of y'all protecting a boy so much you're crippling them psychologically. That'll be no good to nobody.